Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Yes. Om Ajnanatimirandhasya Gnananjana-shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha. Namo Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swaminiti Namine. Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pacharini Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschati Deshatarini. Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaura Bhaktavrinda. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, everyone. Hare Krishna. Can you all see the screen, Mataji?
Okay. Yes, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. So today's chapter is the opulence of the absolute. So anybody can tell me what was the chapter name, previous chapter name, chapter 9 name of the title of that chapter? Anyone can raise their hand. Yes, Mataji.
The most confidential knowledge.
Yes. Do you know the Sanskrit term?
Rajavidya, Rajaguhya.
Yes. Yes. Thank you, Vijay Mataji. Thank you. Hare Krishna. Yes. The previous chapter was Rajavidya, Rajaguhya Yoga, the most confidential knowledge. So we learned about last chapter, the previous chapter. Put in the yes. So the last chapter, the 9th chapter, we learned about 4 sections of that chapter we did. So that was hearing about Krishna, qualification and disqualification, Aishwarya Jnana, Krishna's Achintya Bheda, Abheda relation with the material world, non-worshippers and worshippers. Krishna is the supreme object. So can anybody tell me which are the 4 types of worshippers and which are the 4 types of non-worshippers? Hare Krishna. Who are worshippers and who are non-worshippers? Yes, Vijay Mataji.
Jigyasu, Artharthi, and Jnani.
They are
worshipper.
Who are non-worshippers? Anyone else want to answer? Okay, Vijay Mataji, you tell please.
Muda. Lowest.
Naradama. Anyone else? It's okay. Anyone else? Muda, Naradama, Maya Paratajnana,
and Rakshasi, demons.
Yes. Demons. Asuram. Asuram Bhavam Ashrita. So Krishna tells about 4 worshippers and 4 non-worshippers here. Thank you, Mataji. Yes. So today's chapter, so Krishna in the 9th chapter, he tells about these things. And today's chapter, we will be dealing with Krishna's position as the supreme of everything and the Chaturshloka and Krishna's acceptance and his request. Arjuna's acceptance and his request. Sorry. So today we will take A and B section. Tomorrow we will take the C sections. Okay. So yes. Krishna, what is the connection between the 9th chapter and the 10th chapter? Lord Krishna at end of the 9th chapter, he advises to fix his mind, fix the mind on him, right? Manmana bhamad bhakto. So anybody can tell that shloka, chant that shloka? Last.
Manmana bhava madbhakta madhyamji ma namaskuru mame vishwasi yuktu evam atmanam matparayana.
Yes, yes. Thank you, Mataji. Yeah. So, so Krishna tells to fix their mind on him, right? So hence describes his opulence on which devotee can fix his mind, and how to remember Krishna, when we see opulent, powerful, and beautiful things in the creation. So now, conclusion of chapter 9 is that one should become pure devotee of Lord by focusing mind on the Lord. So 10th chapter describes on focusing focusing on the descriptions of Krishna's opulence by hearing will increase the devotion, increase the devotion. So why should we know about Krishna here? So the 10th chapter is about his opulences, right? So why should one know about Krishna's opulence? What is the reason behind that? Why Krishna is describing here about his opulences? Yes. Anybody else? If no one, I'll give it to Vijay Mataji. Yes, Mataji.
So that we can achieve him, we can get him.
We can increase our devotional service, right?
Yeah.
Why do we hear so much of Bhagavatam classes? Why do we hear daily, daily Bhakti Vikshas are running, and also weekly classes are going, right? Why do we have to remember? We did Gita 18. We must have stopped there, but no. Why we are hearing constantly? So that we can increase our devotional service to Krishna. It inspires a devotee to do devotional service towards Krishna. So here, focus on the description of Krishna's opulence by hearing, increase the devotion. So 10.1 to 10.7, Krishna's position as the origin of everything. And 10.8 to 10.11, Shloka, and 10.12 to 10.14, Arjuna's acceptance and his request to show opulences. So 10.8 to 10.11, we have to cram these 4 shlokas. Those are called the essence of Bhagavad Gita, or summary of that whole Bhagavad Gita. So why do we have to do devotional service, and what we get through doing devotional service? Everything is in this 4 shlokas. One who cannot remember all the 700 shlokas of Bhagavad Gita, these 4 shlokas, if they remember, that's enough. Everything is concluded, or everything is summarized in those 4 shlokas. Okay, so 10.1 to 10.7, again we will break this into 3 sections. So Krishna's position as the origin of everything. 10.1 to 10.3, anyone knowing Krishna as the unborn supreme Lord and the source of all sages and demigod is undiluted and free from sins. And 4 to 6 sloka, all qualities and attitude, freedom from illusion, self-control and infamy are created by Krishna. Even the progenitors of the universe are born from his mind. Those who know Krishna's glories engage in his devotional service. So 10.1, so the Supreme Lord here says, my dear friend, mighty Aunt Arjuna, listen again to my supreme word, which I shall impart to you for you benefit, and which will give you great joy. So what is happening here? Can anybody describe this picture over here? who is sleeping here and who is this and who is this person. A famous story, must have seen in some of the TVs or must have heard by somebody. What is here happening? Okay, Sudha Mataji.
Hare Krishna Mataji. Is this Lord Krishna in the middle, and Duryodhana is at the head of the Lord, and Arjuna is by the feet of the Lord? They both go to Sri Krishna. I think then Krishna asks them to ask for any boon, and Duryodhana says that I came first, so I should get the chance to ask first. And but Krishna sees Arjuna first because he's at the feet. So first, when Krishna opens his eyes, he sees Arjuna only. But Duryodhana said that no, I came first, so I should get the first chance. So then he asks for the, so Krishna gives the option. One of you can have all my army and all my resources, and the other one can have me. I will be with them, but I will not participate in the war. So Duryodhana is like, okay, wow, this is easy. So Duryodhana takes the army, and Arjuna is happy to have Krishna on his side and as the charioteer. Is that right?
Yes, yes, Mataji. Yes. Hare Krishna.
Yeah.
Yes. So Arjuna and Duryodhana, these both are here. So Krishna was sleeping. So Duryodhana came running because Krishna, they wanted something from Krishna. So he went to all the kings and then he came to Krishna. Krishna was sleeping at that time. But then he thought, I'm a prince, why should I sit? And most of the times we are said that we should not sit at the head part of somebody respectable, because when you sit at the feet, because Arjuna was a devotee, he did not think about sitting on the chair also. He sat on the floor, and that also on the side of the feet of Lord Krishna. And then Duryodhana was everything. He's a egoistic person. So he sat on the chair, and then that also at the head part of the Lord, thinking that I'm equal to the Lord. So then when Krishna got up, he first saw Arjuna because he was sitting on the leg portion of the Lord feet. So Krishna could see him first, and then the discussion happened, and then the whole army. So Krishna gave them two options. One is one whole army of Lord Krishna, that is full Dwarka's army, Akshoinis, right? So those whole armies, and one part, and another part is only Krishna. So Duryodhana knew that even though I asked Krishna, he won't lift the weapons, because he had promised that he won't lift any weapons in the Mahabharata battle. So Duryodhana thought in a material perspective, and he said, I'll go first with the option. I want the whole Akshoinis of Dwarka, the army. So then Krishna insisted, you don't want any army with you? Then Arjuna said, when I have the Supreme Lord with me, when I have Krishna, I don't want anything else. That is the devotee. He doesn't want anything else which is opposite to devotional service, and also he wants only the Lord. He doesn't want anything else. And then Duryodhana took over the whole army. Then Arjuna opted for Krishna, and Krishna became the charioteer of Lord Arjuna, and the Lord became he took a work, and he did not lift a weapon. Because he did not lift a weapon, he became the charioteer of Arjuna, because Arjuna is a pure devotee of the Lord, right? So here this story tells about how a devotee and a non-devotee, how their material and spiritual perspectives are. So in the text one, Lord Krishna asks us to listen carefully, as he will reveal more wonderful knowledge about his opulences. So what is the main thing over here? In the 7th chapter also, Lord explains his different energies and how they are acting, right? And even in the chapter 9, Lord established his different energies to establish devotion in the firm convictions. And in the 10th chapter, gives more confidential knowledge of his specific opulences and his work. So everywhere Krishna is describing about his energies and his powers, right? Why is he explaining about this? And he's telling here us to listen to him, listen with hear with eagerness as a qualification. So what is the qualification to know about his energies and powers? Eagerness to hear, right? Discourse in the society of devotees can take place only among those who are anxious to be in Krishna conscious, like Krishna consciousness. Just like Arjuna's qualification, you are dear to me. So how can one become dear to Krishna? One has to become anxious of what? Anxious about hearing about the Lord, being in Krishna consciousness, being in the association of the devotees, and that's how one becomes dear to Krishna, and one develops eagerness to hear about Lord, right? Why do we hear so much lectures from different devotees? Why do we hear Srimad Bhagavatam? Why do we have to read Prabhupada books? Have that eagerness to know about the Lord. And that's how where there is no eagerness about knowing somebody or even the Lord, there is no further going in spirituality. Even here, even in the material knowledge also, we are eager to know what is the next procedure to this thing, right? Even when you want to hear about somebody, some film star or something, when you like them, we hear them about them more, right? In the same way, when you increase love for Krishna, you hear, and when you hear, your love again increases for Krishna, and that's how you become dear to the Lord. So next sloka, 10.2. Name vidu suragana prabhavam na maharshya aham adirhi devanam marishinam cha sarvashah. Neither the host of the demigods nor the great sages know my origin, for in every respect I am the source of demigods and the sages. He who knows me as the unborn, as the beginningless, and as the supreme Lord for the for all the world, he undiluted among men, and is free from all the sins. So, how to become free from all the sins? When you understand Krishna, you become free from all the sins because you come to know who is the Lord and what are his energies. Intelligence, knowledge, freedom from the doubt and delusion, forgiveness, truthfulness, control of senses, control of the mind, happiness and distress, birth, death, fear, fearlessness, non-violence, equanimity, satisfaction, austerity, charity, fame, and infamy. All these various qualities of the living entities are created by me alone. So Krishna here tells about his qualities. Okay, so intelligence, the power of analyzing things in their proper perspective. So a human means, what is the difference between a human and the animals? The first thing they say is human is intelligent. So intelligence is given by Krishna, the power to analyze about things if they are correct or not. Next is knowledge, knowing the distinction between the matter and the spirit, academiciancy, and only talks about the matter. So here, knowledge, what we learn, jnanam, right? What we learn in the material schools and colleges, they're all matter. The science or everything talks about matter. But here, in the spiritual world or spiritual knowledge, it speaks about the spirit, soul, and the matter, how they are distinct, how they are connected to the Lord, how they are connected to the Supreme, how one can connect to Supreme Lord, right? That is jnanam. That is also given by Krishna. Freedom from delusion and doubtfulness. So asammohana. So without hesitation, understanding the transcendental philosophy, nothing should be accepted blindly. So freedom from doubts and delusion. So so what is spiritual life, or what is a human life meant for? To clarify his doubts, right? Athato brahma jignasa. What is your now you have to ask questions about your existence, about your spiritual existence. That is the main goal of human life. And by understanding your spiritual existence, by understanding the spiritual Lord, the Supreme Lord, by doing the spiritual devotional service to the Lord, you can go back to Krishna. So you must have questions on how this life, how will you engage in the devotional service. Nothing should be accepted blindly. Tolerance and forgivenessness. So excuse the minor offenses of others. One should be practiced to bear insult and dishonor from others. So in Shikshastakam it is there, no? Trinadapi shunichena tarorapi saishnuna amaniya manadena kirtaniya sadahari. So whatever insults, tolerate like a blade of grass, and be humble as a blade of grass, and tolerate like a tree, and always give respect to others and bear the insults, right? So one should bear the insults and forgive others. Truthfulness, satyam, facts presented as they are for the benefit of others, not distort truth for some personal interest. So why Prabhupada did Bhagavad Gita as it is? Because it is called as it is. It is from Krishna himself, what he told 5,000 years ago. The same thing is written here. But in market, there are so many Bhagavad Gitas. All are not true Bhagavad Gita. Some of them have their personal interest. So they are all false. So truthfulness, the devotional service starts from truthfulness also. You must have the truthfulness. So control of senses. So senses should not be used for unnecessary personal enjoyment. So many of them like to dance. So why is this Krishna consciousness? The Prabhupada says, chant, dance, and eat. That's it. That's very simple. Krishna consciousness is very simple. Because in Kali Yuga, the fallen age, right? People want to eat most of the times. They want to, they want to dance, go for many places just to dance and eat and drink. So Prabhupada said, why don't you come to temple? Feast is there. Whatever your enjoyments are there, your personal sense gratification, turn it towards Krishna. Do it for Krishna's pleasure. And control the mind. Restrain the mind from unnecessary thoughts like money. Power of thoughts should be developed in association with Guru, Sadhu, and Shastra. Right? Lava matra sadhu sangha sarva shastra hoy. So just by a little association of good association with the devotees, I'm sorry, by little association with the devotees, all the shastras are can be understood very easily. And restrain your mind from materialistic thoughts, because materialistic thoughts, it will take you away from Krishna. Because Krishna anukulena sankalpa pratikulasya varjanam. So what is favorable to Krishna consciousness, accept that. Which is not favorable to Krishna consciousness, stay away from it. Avoid as much as possible, right? You go for others' home, for other functions and everything. So much materialistic is there. You understand that this is not a place, but you are stuck here. Take what you can take for Krishna consciousness. Discard all those material things. Just stay away. Avoid them as much as you can. So in that way, you can control your senses and mind. Happiness and distress. always consider in relation to what favorable or unfavorable to Krishna consciousness. What is Sukham and Dukkham here? Krishna explains, even that is, so when a devotee gets happiness or he gets Sukham, he thinks, I'm not capable of, I'm not qualified to get all this material opulence or spiritual opulences, but by the mercy of Krishna and Guru, I'm getting this. And when he gets some punishments or some problems, he thinks the problem was much more bigger, but by Krishna's mercy, it went very small, very little. So that's how the devotees are. So qualities discussed in 10.4 to 10 and 10.5, birth, satisfaction, once again, okay, 10.9, so birth, for soul there is no birth or no death, fearlessness, non-violence, and not do anything which would put others in miseries, confusion, all distress, not checking anyone's progressive life. So what is non-violence here? Most of the times ahimsa, right? Most of people speak about ahimsa. So what is ahimsa here? Materially we see ahimsa means not to harm somebody materially, not to harm their body, not to harm their mental status, and all this is ahimsa. But spiritual ahimsa means non-violence. What are you doing? Himsa to the soul, right? By not chanting or by not progressing in spiritual life, you are actually harming or violencing towards the soul. The food of soul is Krishna consciousness. So when the soul turns towards Krishna or does devotional service, it actually gets energy from there. If you're not doing devotional service, you're not doing regular sadhana, if you're not chanting regularly, then the soul is getting harmed or it suffers. So that is when you are practicing spiritual life, that is actually non-violence. When you live others to do their spiritual life, when you accept that, oh, my somebody is doing spiritual progress, let them do, so not checking anyone's progressive life. So that is also non-violence. Equanimity, satisfaction, the tusti, right? One should have satisfaction with whatever he gets and must have that mental status. Austerity and penance, tapa, and charity. So what is charity? In Nectar of Devotion, there is, so it is written by Rupa Goswami. So charity, one should do the charity, like when he was a great prime minister of a Nawab. So when he came into Krishna consciousness, what he did, he had a boat of gold coins, a large boat of gold coins. What he did, he divided that into 3 parts: 25% for himself for spiritual life, and 25% of that property or income he gave it to his relatives, and 50% of his income is given to the Krishna consciousness. And Prabhupada says we must follow that kind of a charity. We must give a 50% of income to Krishna consciousness. So as a donation or anything, as your work, something as to Krishna. So here charity, give 50% of your income to Krishna consciousness. And 16th is fame, yasha. So these all are qualities discussed in 10.4 to 10.15, 10.5. So the next 10.6 is the seven great sages, and before them the 4 other great sages, and the Manu are born out of his mind, and all creatures in these planets descended from them. Right? So opulence about the Supreme Lord. So now he tells about his sources. So now he told about his qualities. Now he tells about the sources. So Prapitamaha. So Krishna, he said as Prapitamaha, the father of the grandfather. So Prapitamaha, who is Pitamaha? That is Brahma, right? Brahma is the grandfather because he is the first creature done by Krishna, right? So he is the first creature created by Krishna. So he is the, and Manu is called as the father of all the human life, right? Yes. Sorry, some internet issues here. Yes. So we were speaking about the sources of Lord Krishna. So so Krishna here speaks about first creation, that is Brahma, his Pitamaha, and later from Brahma, the first came are 4 Kumaras. The third canto, it is of Srimad Bhagavatam, it is explained here. And then from 4 Kumaras, and then again the 7 sages, and then 14 Manus, right? So all these are created by Brahma. But then who created Brahma? That is Krishna. So here, tam vibhutim yogam cha mam yo veti tatvatah so vikalpena yogena yunjayate natra samshayaha. He who knows in truth this glories and powers of mind engages in unalloyed devotional service. Of this there is no doubt. So one who knows. So what is the conclusion of knowing all the sources and qualities of the Lord? That is that one can increase their devotional service to the Lord. Why should one know about all these opulences about the Lord? To increase love for the Lord. So now Krishna speaks about he tells about Chaturshloka. So everybody can, and they have to remember the shlokas, they have to by heart the shlokas. Okay, these are called a summary of whole Bhagavad Gita. Aham sarvasya prabhavo matta sarvam pravartate iti matva bhajante mam buddha bhava samanvitaha. So what is Krishna saying here? I am the source of all spiritual and material worlds. Everything emanates from me. The wise who know this perfectly engage in my devotional service and worship me with all their hearts. So why Krishna told about his opulences and qualities till now, till 10.7? Why he told? Here is the reason. Because he wants one who knows that everything. Aham sarvasya prabhavo. Matta sarvam prapartate. So Krishna says, I am the source of everything, all the material and the spiritual worlds. Everything is from me, right? Krishna in Goloka, from him, all this, like 3 Narayana forms, right? 3 Vishnus come. The Garbhodakashai Vishnu, Kshirodakashai Vishnu, and Karnodakashayi Vishnu, right? Karnodakashayi Vishnu is called Mahavishnu, and from then the Garbhodakashayi Vishnu, each universe. So Karnodakashayi Vishnu or the Mahavishnu, he creates all the universes, the material universes, and then in each of the material universes, there is Garbhodakashayi Vishnu who resides in them, and then from him, the Brahma is created, and then all the 14 planetary system is created in each of these Brahmandas. So one Brahma has one Brahmanda. So every Brahmanda, there is each Brahma, and he creates all the 14 planetary system. And then inside these 14 planetary system, Krishna comes as Kshirodakashayi Vishnu or Paramatma form, sits in each and everyone's heart. So when one worships the Supreme Lord, right, with all their hearts, he only then they can understand about these opulences, that Krishna is the supreme, and he says Aham Sarvasya Prabho, he is everywhere and everything is emanated from him, right? So it is said that this universes or Brahmanda, one whole Brahmanda, is compared to the size of a mustard. So it is said the one if we are in this Brahmanda, and Brahmanda is like a mustard seed in the bag of mustards. So think that there is 1 kg of mustard seed or one whole bag of mustard, and in that one mustard is our Brahmanda compared to that. And Krishna creates so many Brahmandas, and all is his opulences. Everything is created by him, and we are inside that one mustard seed. In that the earth, and in that we are nowhere, right? But Krishna still is in our heart as Paramatma, and he still takes care of us. So we must do devotional service to him so that we can understand about Krishna. So Aham Sarvasya Prabhavo Matta Sarvam Pravartate. Result of knowing this, what is the result of knowing that Krishna is the Supreme Lord and everything is emanated from him? Worships Krishna with all their heart, engages in devotional service, and then surrenders to him. Why we are learning and what is the result of understanding this? We will ultimately surrender to Krishna. So Machita Madgata Prana Bodhayanta Parasparam Katayantascha Mam Nityam Tushyanti Charamanticha. Here Krishna tells about his devotees. So what are the thoughts? He is always in the thoughts of his pure devotees. Their lives are surrendered to me, and they derive great joy, great satisfaction and bliss, enlightening one another and conversing about me. Right? So Srila Prabhupada is the best example here. So by his mercy, we are understanding about Krishna. He's a pure devotee, right? And so Krishna, in whole Bhagavad Gita, in each of the page of Bhagavad Gita, you cannot even miss a word Krishna in it. Every page of Bhagavad Gita has name of the Lord, Krishna's name, because while writing those purports, Prabhupada was meditating or remembering Krishna, because Krishna is dwelling in the heart of his pure devotees. And because why he is there? Because they have surrendered to Krishna, right? And they derive a great joy and bliss, enlightening each other. Katayantascha mam nityam. So every day all the devotees speak about Krishna. Bodhayanta parasparam, speak to each other, enlighten each other about Krishna. So what we are doing in Bhakti Vrikshas, right? We are every day meeting or weekly we are meeting and speaking. What is your realization after reading Bhagavad Gita? What are we learning from Bhagavad Gita? Everything we are exchanging this spiritual knowledge with the devotees, with a good association of devotees, because Krishna is in their heart. Because when we hear about Krishna in the heart, he gives us the light. So next sloka, it speaks about how merciful is Krishna. So in the text 9, symptoms of a pure devotee. Krishna becomes his life and soul, and he constantly hears and discusses about Krishna. So now 2 stages of devotional service. Preliminary stage is that they relish the transcendental pleasure from the service itself. Then mature stage is that they're always situated in the love of Godhead and thus relish the highest perfection which is exhibited by the Lord in his abode. So Krishna is everywhere in all of the devotees' heart. When we go to the temple, it's not just the deities are Krishna and Radha Krishna. Even the devotees over there, they are carrying Krishna in their heart. And when we are cooking for Krishna, we remember Krishna. And then when we speak, when we exchange our realizations or exchange our experience in Krishna consciousness, we praise Krishna when we hear or when we speak about Krishna. So initially, they relish the transcendental pleasure from the service itself, the preliminary stage of the devotional service. And then they always situate perfection, which is exhibited by the Lord in his abode. Always thinks about Krishna, and that is the mature stage. Thoughts of my pure devotees are dwell in me, life fully devoted to my service. And then they derive great satisfaction and blissful, always conversing about me. And then 10.10 Tesham satata yuktanam bhajatam priti purvakam dadami buddhi yogam tam yena mam upayantite. So Krishna here speaks to those who are constantly devoted and worship me with love. I give understanding by which they can come to me. Right? So how can one go back to Krishna? You need not, you need not put full force on your mind. And most of the jnanis, they want to go themselves, right? Krishna, they don't want Krishna's help. They don't even agree that there is Krishna, right? But they want something they want to become one with the Lord and so many things. But then a devotee, he doesn't have to put so much effort. He knows when I'm doing devotional service to Krishna, even though I do not know in the initial stage, most of them do not know how to do devotional service. By chanting, by reading about Krishna, one can slowly, Krishna gives the understanding how to do devotional service. How? One, by through Guru's mercy, and then by his own mercy. So different stages of yoga. So karma yoga, when one knows the goal is Krishna but addicted to the fruits, right? He knows there is this somewhat karma kanda philosophy or karma yoga. He knows about Krishna, but then he's attached to the fruits of action, right? The 3rd chapter we learned. And then the jnana yoga, when one knows the goal is Krishna, but takes pleasure in mental speculation to understand Krishna, is acting in Jnana Yoga. Then what is Buddhi Yoga? Buddhi Yoga means or Bhakti Yoga, right? So Krishna here says, Dadami Buddhi Yogam tam yena mam upayantite. When one knows the goal and seeks complete in Krishna consciousness and devotional service, he is acting in Buddhi Yoga or Bhakti Yoga, the complete yoga or the perfection stage. So when one knows that the goal is Krishna and he's completely devoted to that goal, means he's completely devoted to Krishna, he is acting in Bhakti Yoga or devotional service. So what is Bhakti here? Means the devotional service. So Prabhupada, normally if we see in dictionaries what is Bhakti, they say it's devotion. But Prabhupada, he changed it to devotional service. By doing service towards Lord Krishna, we get to know about him. And when one is completely in Krishna consciousness and does devotional service, he is acting in Bhakti Yoga. And initially, no one knows how to do devotional service only by the mercy of Guru. So how Krishna gives us the mercy? Through Guru. When you accept who is a Guru? He is a pure devotee of the Lord. So when you accept a pure devotee of the Lord as a Guru, then Krishna, through him, he comes and gives you the knowledge of Bhakti Yoga. Through Prabhupada, right? Prabhupada is a pure devotee of the Lord. So by his mercy we are getting. If Prabhupada was not there, then we would not have learned the Bhagavad Gita as it is, do devotional service towards Krishna and relish a great joy in chanting the Hare Krishna Mahamantra, right? So by the mercy of the devotees and by the mercy of Krishna. Then Teshamevanukampartam aham ajnanajam tamaha nashayami atma bhavasto jnana deepena bhashvata. Out of compassion for them, so I dwelling in their hearts, destroy with the shining lamp of knowledge the darkness of both the born of ignorance. So Krishna here explains how he is going to give the knowledge to his devotees. So Krishna is in everybody's heart, right? So by the mercy of Krishna, so Krishna here tells out of compassion. So Krishna here tells about how compassionate Krishna is, right? Tesham evan anukampartam. So out of compassion for them, for the fallen soul, I am dwelling in their heart. So I give them the knowledge. I destroy their darkness of ignorance by shining the lamp of knowledge, right? How does he do that? By devotional service. When we are doing devotional service to the Lord, and by accepting a guru who is a representative of Krishna, by understanding, by hearing from a pure devotee, Krishna in the heart, he understands. A devotee wants to learn about him, then he reveals himself, or he starts giving you the knowledge as a shining lamp, and he chases away the ignorance of darkness, right? So what is the pranam mantra, or what we say for Guru Pranam? Om Ajnana Timirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshur Unmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha. So Om Ajnana Timirandasya. So Ajnana is compared to Timira, means the darkness. The ignorance is always said as Timira, or the darkness. Om Ajnana Timirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya. So Chakshur Unmilitam Yena. Open my eyes. Chakshur Unmilitam Yena. By the knowledge of spiritual knowledge, by the shining lamp of the knowledge. And Krishna does that. How does he do? By through a pure devotee, through a guru. So guru means a pure devotee of the Lord, right? So anybody can tell me what is happening here? Who are these both, and what is happening here? What is spoken here? Yes, Vijaya Mataji.
Kapil and Devuti.
This one?
Yes, this one. Kapil.
Kapila Muni and Devahuti.
Devuti mother. He is giving the Sankhya Yoga to his mother.
Yes, very nice, Mataji. And what is happening here? These both. Who are these?
Parishit. Parishit and Shukdev.
Parikshit Maharaj and Shukadev Goswami. Yes. Anyone else? What is happening here? What are they speaking? Why all these sages are here?
Bhagavatam. Yeah, telling Bhagavatam.
Yes. Thank you, Mataji. And then here is what is happening here? Anyone else? Anyone else want to try? Yes, Meenakshi Mataji.
It is Kapila Muni.
Yes, and what is happening here?
Here it is.
Yeah, Devahuti is his mother. Yes. Kapila Dev, and Devahuti is his mother, and uh, this is Uddhava and Krishna speaking Uddhava Gita. Yes, yes, thank you. Yes, so Kapila Deva and Devahuti, what are all this doing? Inquiring about the Lord. So through a guru, right? Why do we need a guru? We have lots of doubts about our spiritual life or who we are. Only while we are inquiring about um, our existence or about the spiritual knowledge, the guru gives us the spiritual knowledge, right? Here the Uddhava Gita is spoken to Uddhava, and here Srimad Bhagavatam is spoken. So Parikshit Maharaj had only 7 days. He was cursed by a sage, and then he had only 7 days left for his death. And then what he did, he started to inquire about the spiritual life, about his own spiritual life, and then the whole Bhagavatam started, right? The 18,000 verses were spoken in these 7 days, and Parikshit Maharaj did not take even a drop of water, not even got up from the place, because he was constantly taking the pleasure of hearing Krishna, hearing about Krishna, the glories of Krishna, right? And so that's how the inquiry, or how pure devotees, they exchange the knowledge they are having with each other, right? And then Devahuti and Kapila Muni. So here the Sankhya Yoga is spoken, and his own mother is inquiring. So Kapila Muni is the Lord's incarnation himself, and Devahuti is inquiring to Kapila Dev, even though she's a very intelligent woman, right? So she starts inquiring about the spiritual knowledge, and here Uddhava and Narayana, the Krishna in the 400 form, he starts explaining the Uddhava Gita spoken here, right? So special mercy of the Lord, right? Krishna says, Aham evanu kampartam, tesham evanu kampartam. So what is the special mercy? Lord destroys all the impediments and dispels any ignorance in the heart, which the shining lamp of the knowledge, right? When you chant the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra, the Shikshastakam, right? What is the first verse of Shikshastakam? Anyone knows? First verse of Shikshastakam. Yes. Yes, Vijay Mataji.
Cheto Darpana.
Yes. Cheto Darpana Marjanam Bhavamahadavagni Nirvapanam Shreya Kairava Chandrika Vitaranam Vidyavadam Jivanam. Right? Vardhanam Pratipadam Purnamrita Swadanam. Yes. Yes, Mataji.
Srapanam Param Vijayate Sri Krishna
Sankirtana.
Sri Krishna Sankirtana.
Yes. Thank you, Mataji. Yes. So Krishna, right? So Cheto Darpana Marjanam. So while we are chanting the holy name of Lord, so Cheto Darpana, our heart is compared to the Darpana or the mirror. And what is covering that mirror? Dust or the sinful activities which have done from millions and millions of life. We have done so many sinful activities, and those are covering our heart of clean heart, and that will show Krishna Bhakti. So while we are chanting the holy name of the Lord, it is Cheto Darpana Marjanam. Marjanam means cleaning the heart of, Darpana, cleaning the mirror heart. Okay, so when we are chanting the holy name, the heart gets purified. Even though a person may read so many Prabhupada books, right? So many Prabhupada books. Is my voice audible, clear? My voice is clear, no, Mataji?
Yes, Mataji.
Okay. So even though a person may read so many books, do so many devotional service, do so many sevas of read Prabhupada books, so many. But then if he is not chanting, if she is not chanting, then they cannot advance in Krishna consciousness, because only chanting can clean the heart, right? Even though many of them try to read Prabhupada books, they read so many times, but then they do not have that much of realizations, because they are not chanting, they are not doing devotional service. They're just reading Prabhupada books won't help. Have to do some seva or service to the Lord, do some practical service to the Lord, right? What you are reading in Bhagavad Gita, what you are reading in Prabhupada books, do them practically, right? Krishna says in 9th chapter, Patram Pushpam Phalam Toyam Yome Bhaktya Prachati. Krishna says, yes, but then do it personally. Gives tulsi plant to the Lord every day. Give at least a cup of water, put some tulsi and offer it to the Lord. Make prasadam to the Lord. Chant his holy names. Do kirtan in your home, right? Satatam kirtayanto mam. Every day, each and every time you must remember Krishna, and then practically start doing it. Then you will come to know why. And then through Guru, you will understand how to advance in Krishna consciousness. So this is section C that we will be doing tomorrow's, okay? From 10.12 to 10.18 and then 10.19 to 10.42. That we will do tomorrow's section. So these 4 shlokas are very important. 10.8, 10.9, 10.10 and 10.11. So first one is Aham Sarvasya Prabhavo Matta Sarvam Pravartate Iti Matva Bhajante Mam Buddha Bhava Samanvitaha. So Krishna tells about his opulences, the source of all. He is the source of. Why do we need to understand his opulences and the sources, so that we will advance in spiritual life? And then he explains about his devotees. Machita madgata prana bodhayantha parasparam katayantascha mam nityam tushyanti cha ramanti cha. So Krishna explains how a pure devotee always dwell in Krishna's heart, and Krishna is always in pure devotee's heart, because he has surrendered to Krishna. And how will we surrender to Krishna? By surrendering to a bona fide Guru. And then Krishna says, Tesham satata yuktanam bhajatam priti purvakam dadami buddhi yogam tam yena mamupayanti te. Krishna says, I will give you the understanding by which you will come to Krishna, right? By buddhi yogam tam, right? Krishna says bhakti yoga or buddhi yoga is very important. Through that only one can understand Krishna. One can understand Krishna and then go back to Godhead. Teshamevanu kampartam aham ajnanajam tamaha nashayami atma bhavastu jnana deepena bhashvataha. So Krishna evanu kampartam, out of compassion I dwell in their heart, destroy with the shining lamp of knowledge and darkness born of ignorance. So how is the mercy coming from Krishna? Through a Guru. So we are not eligible to see Krishna eyes to eyes or face to face, but then while we are associating with a bona fide spiritual master, when we take the instructions of that spiritual master, it may be your Diksha Guru or Shiksha Guru, when we take their instructions and put it as a life and soul, we will definitely go back to Krishna consciousness, right? Prabhupada says, chant Hare Krishna, and then chant Hare Krishna Mahamantra every day, 16 rounds, then definitely, and for the 4 regulative principle, then I'll promise that I'll take you back to Godhead. When the pure devotees of Lord Krishna promise, that means they will take you back to Godhead. And your work is to promise Srila Prabhupada that I will chant the Hare Krishna Mantra and follow 4 regulative principles. And then Prabhupada will keep his promise, and you also keep your promise, and then we can go back to Krishna's abode. And that's how Krishna is showing us compassion. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare